Yo, what's going on, everybody? Cup and Dip coming at you guys with another one. Hopefully, everybody's good out there as usual. Got my boy Grind Time in the building, and we actually took a little bit of extra time because Grind Time has updated and he's moving on up like the Jeffersons there. Got a new system, had to get it locked in, guys. So, how you doing today, Grind Time?
What's happening? What's happening? Another day in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. So it's a interesting day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
FOMC meeting today, market reacting to such information. So it was intriguing to kind of watch all of the different perspectives everybody had, just with what was going on in the market, how they expected things to turn out. How did you initially, just with you knowing that today was FOMC meeting? We kind of already knew what the results were going to be, but just initially, what did you think the results of today was going to be?
I didn't think there was going to be much change per se, just because everything is still up in the air. And, you know, exactly what I'm saying is when we dive into some of these articles, that's the same sentiment across the board. So there's a lot to take in today, though. There's so much going on. So
Yeah.
much going on in the market. We're going to dive into, quite a few things.
Yeah, most definitely will be doing that. And I think that the biggest takeaway from today will probably be just the resilience of the market right now at this second. Could this not be a pump that takes us to just the atmosphere and we're in space? You know what I mean? We're mooning at that point. It could not be that. It could be that we're going to consolidate for a little bit. I honestly would have to say that I am honestly not too convinced that this is like the point to where we just start to correct right now. I think that we still have to consolidate a little bit to see some positive moves to the upside here. So I think with that, we're looking at right now a 20 I said 20. I wish it was 20 trillion. Shit. 2.9 trillion dollar market cap right now, and I think that's pretty solid just going into what we got going on right now. Then if we go to our total market cap screen, so we're still in a situation to where, once again, as we review, we're kind of reviewing this as we come on stream and kind of seeing what we got going on right now. We still got an abundance of retail money inside of the market, but we still got a small amount of smart money inside of the market too. And if you look from our initial drop, which I was pointing out beforehand, we're actually starting to go up if you pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually on the week chart right now. So each individual candle here will be 1 week of time, pretty much. So from the week that started on the 3rd to the week that started on the 10th, we have gone up in volume, and we've actually gone up significantly from the week that started on the 17th as far as volume in the market. So this can be multiple different things. This can be a bit of volume exiting, it could be volume coming in. So buys and sells are considered as volume. So it's not just move to the upside, but it's more so the interest for the smart money inside of the market currently right now. That's the point that we're looking at right now. So I think that that's interesting. And then we also have our MACD. So on the week time frame, you know what I mean? MACD is still heading in a downward direction. We are starting to flip neutral with more volume being introduced into the market right now. So that is a plus. Sorry if you guys hear my kids in the background. They're turned for some reason. I think they need me to come talk to them real quick. But let me see. So yeah, so like I said, more volume introduced into the market right now. We're starting to flip neutral on the MACD, that's bullish in a sense. If we can transition to where we get, let's just say, another week neutral, and we're beginning to see these bands almost get ready to cross, and we maybe have a little bit more smart money kind of getting introduced into the market, then that would be bullish signs for us to have that volume that kind of moves us to the upside, I feel like. Now, anything besides that is going to be pure speculation, I feel like. So all the people who are saying we're so back, until we have like things that confirm that we're back, I'm just not too convinced. It does look good right now at the moment, so that's definitely something that you can celebrate, the fact that the market looks good right this second. So definitely not trying to be Debbie Downer, but you definitely have to be you got to be open to being observant of what's going on in the market. You know what I mean? You can't just be a person who follows somebody that tells you that the market's back. You got to have signals or something that actually represents that the market's physically coming back. I feel like that's just my my standpoint there. What up, DNA? Yo, 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 what's the word? Been a while, man. So that's my thought process just on the global market cap. Even looking at it on a month time frame, you can see even on the month time frame is increasing a little bit. Day time frame, you can see that on a day, you know what I mean? Like we're not kicking as much, you know what I mean? Like it's not registering as much smart money. So even with this little pump that we've had right now in the market, we're still not registering smart money. These are going to be your telltales the week, and I feel like the month, to kind of really tell you when we're dissipating or like accumulating more smart money inside of the market. So that's what I'm really going to be paying attention to, just to kind of tell me what's going on. But I know my boy Grind Time has some articles up for us, so let's go ahead and check that out. What you got, Grind?
Yeah, with everything kind of like, the news that got dropped today or within the last 24 hours, I mean, we may start seeing more and more smart money coming this way. We had the news on the rate cuts today. The Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged. So for a second straight meeting, we didn't see anything on that forefront there. Mainly because I think, like I said earlier, with President Trump's policies, will they have a real impact, on the economy with the tariffs and with the uncertainty where inflation is going to go regarding any of the tariffs um, or the interest rates. So I don't know what your take is or how you felt about the news today, but like I said, I didn't think there was going to be much coming out of this that would really get us, you know,
Yeah.
crazy moving.
Yeah. I personally I personally felt like the meeting itself was interesting because I feel like there was bearish information and then there was bullish information. The bullish information I feel like that they released is they feel like, in their opinion, that we're nowhere near close to a recession state right this second. So they're basically saying that there's low chances that we kick into a recession state. And they were even asked, would you guys be willing to kind of negate some of the inflation that we have, pretty much? Would you guys be willing to actually initiate us going into recession to kind of combat that and just kind of nip that in the bud just right off of the bat, instead of waiting a lengthy amount of time for it to kind of level out? So I felt like that was pretty interesting as far as his response and such to it. It doesn't seem like they want to look towards a recession right this second. uh I think the sentiments of the market and the economy right this second are kind of pointing towards a recession, but it did also previously kind of point to a recession, and we didn't officially kick into a recession. We did have some moments to where we did kind of well as far as in the market or just in an economy for a little bit, and then it got to where it was just downhill from there. You know what I mean? So that's that's probably the key points that I was kind of taking away from it. I already knew that there wasn't going to be any like rate hike or them cutting rates or anything like that this time. I think the next meeting is where they're going to look to cut, because we did get to the 2% rate that they were trying to get to. So I think that that's bullish as a whole, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's enough to propel and push the market right this second, which is why I feel like we fall into a consolidation.
Yeah, and we still have the 30 days, on the tariffs as well. So I don't think they're like into full effect to where they get, they're retaliating. They're still trying to, work things out in the background. You know what I mean? So obviously it's going to benefit everybody if they come to some sort of an agreement. But who knows? Who knows how it's going to play out?
Yep, it's going to be up in the air for a little bit, and this is going to be the rockiest point I feel like of the economy and the rockiest point of the market, because once all of these things begin to be figured out, like we don't have any like super large variables unless we go to war or something like that that's going to disturb the state of the crypto market or for like the stock market either. I feel like. And I think the economy starts to evolve a little bit once some of these things get evolved. But I think most people's biggest fear is probably the tariffs and us receiving tariffs back and what that does to the cost of everything, and also inflation being added from those tariffs also, if that gets counted towards our initial inflation rate or if those are counted separately. So it's
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it over by you, but we've seen a little bit of a decrease in gas and eggs over by us. So the main essentials, I guess.
ever so slightly, I feel like.
Slightly, nothing major.
Yeah, nothing super huge, I feel like right this second, to where like I'll be like, yeah, it's a huge difference in the pricing right now. But I think that things like that kind of take place slowly. So you won't see the effect of like prices changing around on a lot of different things until like we get to a point to where we get some of these rate cuts. And I think like after the like second or third one is where we really will see pricing differences. I'm hoping that we can at least get to that point to where we get like 2, 3 rate cuts in a row to where we can actually get some relief for the economy, along with them already having raised minimum wage. That should make living arrangements for people a little easier. So
Yeah, because I hate paying $10 for a watermelon, bro. I don't know about you. It's crazy. It's crazy.
the prices of everything is
I know.
overly inflated right this second, and none of the things either taste or work the way they were supposed to or did previously. It's like we're paying more for lesser items,
Or less, exactly.
and it's crazy. You know what I mean? Especially the quality of the food. It's like we're going up on the price on this. You know what I mean? Like if this was a
Hmm.
restaurant that you can pick between, you pick between McDonald's, Burger King, and this one restaurant that keeps raising their damn prices. You know what I mean? Like I don't think anybody's going to the restaurant that keeps randomly raising the fucking prices. You know what I mean? That's just not a thing. Unless that's just your favorite place. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's acquired taste, I guess.
Well, it used to be cheaper going to the grocery store, right, and cooking at home. But even opposed to going out. But I mean, even that is out
I
the
mean,
window.
soon it's gonna be it's cheaper to just go get a couple Happy Meals. You know what I mean? Just call it a day. So I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm hoping that things do start to transition down and we start to see like some relief, and that relief I feel like translates to a pump in both the crypto and the stock market doing well, which makes people money, which makes the economy better because people are able to fund and start more businesses or just do more things with money and buy more things, which helps the economy flourish. So if no money's moving around, then nobody's getting anything done really. You know what I mean? Like you're just at a deadlock, just stand still.
Baby fat, bring the dollar menu back.
Bring the dollar menu, bring the dollar store back.
Yeah,
There at one point was a store where things actually did cost $1. Now they're just named a store that cost $1, but everything's in there is about a $3 to $5 at the low. You know what I mean? So it's like the $3 to $5 store. They need to change the name. So I don't know if anybody else is witnessing that, but everything is beyond expensive. Our gas had a little drop. Okay, okay. Right, Dollar Tree Press. Yeah, they're getting out of hand here, guys. They are getting out of hand here. But just overall, like I'm telling you, like this is crazy. Just looking at what's going on currently right now. But I know you did have another article that you wanted to toss up. So what else we got going, Brian?
so each stream we touch on the Bitcoin reserve too, right? So I thought this one was interesting because with Trump trying to make us the crypto capital, like he wants us to be leader and all that. Now we're starting to see every U.S. state, you know, I guess rush. This article, CCN, I thought it was neat because it shows which U.S. states are taking the lead in trying to build up their own Bitcoin reserve within their state. Several U.S. states are pushing to create strategic Bitcoin reserves, and like a couple streams prior, that's a way for the actual U.S. in general to build up, to add more to their reserve if states are doing so. So most states have proposed allocating 10% of their funds to Bitcoin reserves, and the move reflects growing support for Bitcoin amid broader crypto adoption. So I just found this one interesting. I don't, if you guys want to go and take a look at it and dive deep into it and look, it breaks it down state by state. And I just thought it was interesting. So
no, it's bullish.
just
Is
throwing
what
it out there. Yeah, for
it's
real.
bullish. I feel like what other catalysts have we had to where we've had just statewide adoption of cryptocurrency as a whole? Like
Nothing. Really.
I haven't seen anything to where states were even mentioning any type of reserve or mentioning buying cryptocurrency at all, period. So I think that is bullish, what you're saying, man. So that's dope.
So I'm in Florida. So here's two Bitcoin reserve bills remain active in states pipeline. So Texas leads the nation in Bitcoin reserve legislation. We hit an article or two or three streams back regarding Texas. I know they're trying to like really be in the forefront out of all the states in general. So again, it's a great read, and you can check out wherever you're residing, whichever state you're in. It's a great one to look at, but definitely bullish for the states and for the U.S.
Yeah, most definitely. And what's going on to people who just jumped in? Man, I see Just the Man on 4 jumped in, 5 jumped in, baby fat, bunch of cool people in the building, baby. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so let's go over just in general what the market looks like. You know what I mean? So I know Grind has the layout, and then I'm gonna dive into CoinGecko and just the full just layout of stats of what we got stacked up. So Grind, what we got as far as market, what's dominating right now?
The usual big ones. What I like seeing is all this green. You know what I mean? BNB's down 2%, taking a little bit of a hit, but everything else is running pretty good today. Partially because of all the news, right? XRP is up 11.4% at 147 billion market cap. We're going to dive into some of that news later. Sol's up 7.5%. We have some news on the forefront with them too. We'll hit up a little bit later as well, but there it goes, 8.1%. It's going up as we're speaking. Bitcoin, the big boy, 5.1%, sitting at $86,890. And what we got? Almost $30 billion 24-hour trading volume for Bitcoin. And Ethereum up 6.8%. So all in all, XLM, Sweetie, H-Bar, I mean, even Doge, everything, Pepe, everything's looking good. Pi was down yesterday.
Quick mic check.
Can you hear me?
Guys hear me? Because
Yeah, I can hear
cut
you.
out on my side.
Can you hear me?
Mic check in the audience. Can you guys hear in the audience? Make sure any settings didn't change.
Can you hear me? Mic check. They can hear us. So we got. Can you hear me? All
right.
Can you hear me?
Bam. All right, my bad. Okay, so they could hear me, but they couldn't hear you. I don't know what happened, but my audio reversed. So you may have to run some of that back, man. I don't know what the hell just happened.
What?
Threw itself into like a loop. I went to my settings, and my settings was on the audio was coming through something else.
Yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Everything good? So just overall, the market's looking good. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol and XRP. We're going to jump into that news again. I don't know if you all heard me, but XRP is up 11.5%. Sol's up 8.2%. Bitcoin, Doge, ETH, The only one that's looking like it's taking a little bit of a hit today is BNB, but they do their own thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. BNB is on its own like time. It follows like the market. I feel like as a whole, but not even really. Like when the market like tanks, like BNB normally doesn't tank. It goes up at its own pace, and I actually kind of like that about BNB. I feel like it's on like a different like path than like the rest of the cryptocurrencies, which is interesting.
yeah, but the big news today is the XRP and the Sol that we're gonna touch on in a bit. But
Yeah,
what
most definitely.
what the news that came out, we're seeing the reflection right here on these two. So
Yeah, so they had a yeah. So let's dive into that and the rest of the market. So we already know Bitcoin's at 86,454 bucks, 4.7 percent up today. So not bad at all. ETH being over $2,000 is something that we haven't seen in a while. So it's been 1,800, 1,900, then stuck at 1,900 and couldn't move. So it's nice to see ETH over 2,000. Will it maintain over 2,000? I don't know, man. Sometimes we have those kind of parabolic pumps, which a parabolic pump can be anywhere from like 5 to 10% for ETH. You know what I mean? In a 24-hour period, that's a pretty nice pump for ETH. So it's up 7.1%. So usually when you have those type of uptrends in the market, I feel like you normally have some type of pullback. So pullback could draw us underneath that that $2,000 mark. We'll see though. XRP, as he mentioned, kind of having a big day with some news that's going around. $2.54 right this second, up 11.6%. So one of the big dogs as far as the runners today, 14.4% on the week. BNB, like I said, kind of does its own damn thing. You can kind of see everything else in the market going up. BNB is like, nah, we've been going up for a while. We're just gonna go down 2%. Fuck it. So this is just interesting as a whole, just watching how everything reacts in the market. But it's up 8.1% on the week, which is not bad at all. Period. Then Solana is definitely on a moon mission. I feel like it wants to go up, and it wants to be a successful blockchain and token. Not saying it's not a successful blockchain and token. A lot of volume goes through there. Trump decided to launch his token, and a lot of celebrities like the blockchain because of the volume that's on there. So not bad at all at 134 bucks. So we're getting further and further away from cracking that $100 mark, which is good. Got some bullish news for Solana also, which we're gonna have grind time dive into actually right now, because this was interesting, and I think that it's kind of perfect timing for us to kind of not have anything really too terrible said in the FOMC meeting. Like I said, there was some bullish and some bearish news that came out, but it kind of like leveled each other out a little bit. You know what I mean? So, and you got bullish news for Solana coming out, bullish news for XRP. But let's dive into the bullish news for Sol. What you got, Grant?
so we had some major news come out, and I believe it's going to drop tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But the first Solana futures ETF to hit markets this week. So, I mean, this is huge. The first track Solana futures come as issuers await SEC decisions on spot Solana ETFs, which analysts see as having a 75% chance of approval by year end. But there was a couple other articles I was reading regarding they might have some news drop tomorrow or approval. So I know you've seen it. What do you how do you feel about this, or how do you think it's going to take Solana?
Honestly, there was rumors of one being released a little bit earlier. And I think that was around the time that Trump was going out and some of these other memes were starting to run. So that was like a bullish time in the market. I think that it would have been best around that time, because it would have really propelled Solana over that 300 buck mark, which was really a tough place for it to get. Just because even with all of the volume that was going through and the buying and selling, it just could not get over that $300 mark. It got really close, but it didn't get over it. I think that it would have got over it with that ETF being announced then, but I think that with the delay that they had, because this isn't I don't think this is a pump from the news of the ETF. I think we would have had more volume if people were super bullish on the ETF. I don't know if it's expected for maybe a delay, or maybe they don't think that it's coming for sure or not, but because there was announcements of ETF coming out for Solana previously. But I think that's why some of mild manner reaction to the ETF as far as like an 8% gain. It's definitely not a bad gain for 8% on a day, but I just feel like we possibly would have had just a little bit more volume. That people had a little bit more interest in the ETF. It's definitely bullish though, because everybody's like retweeting it and kind of putting it out, but it's not getting the market reaction that I felt like would be warranted behind some bullish information like that. But it could be also because the market is still in a state to where I feel like it doesn't know what it wants to do. Yeah, we had a pump today, but we've had pumps that went higher than this price point previously, and we pushed back down. So we're just not in a state yet to where people are convinced that the market is corrected. So we'll see tomorrow if these gains kind of either continue or consolidate around this range and try to push up. But I think that'll kind of be our tell for how the market really likes this ETF news, because this is ETF releases are really buy the rumor, sell the news occasion. So I don't know if some of this volume leaves from Solana once this actually gets announced because people kind of bought the rumor, sell the news, or how this works out. But we'll play it by ear and just pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's definitely bullish. I like to see where this plays out. I love Solana. I continue to build as much as I can when I can. So
yeah, Solana's a good blockchain. I've never been the hugest fan of Solana just because I do not like the fact that their blockchain goes down. I don't like the fact that you can't really transact and do certain things during that period of time. It takes forever for transactions. So then even when Trump token launched, like that blockchain was fucked for a bit. Exchanges didn't know like so much Solana was leaving, you know what I mean? So that part really wasn't the bad side, but it was just the ability for the blockchain to scale that amount of volume. I was just waiting and counting down for it to break this time, but it actually didn't. It had slow transactions, but it didn't officially like tank like it normally would do, which I feel like would have definitely halted some of the volume and the progress that we had on the side of Solana. So I say kudos to them for kind of scaling their blockchain to the point that it's not going down anymore. But that's why I wasn't the biggest fan of Solana at first, because the blockchain went down so often, and there were so many issues. There was volume, don't get me wrong, I would trade, and then once it would start that kind of locking the funds up thing, then I had to kind of move around. But overall, I think a lot more people are adopting Solana, and it's getting more notoriety in the space. So I think that it definitely going to be one of the top runners going into this bull run. So I don't know how you feel about that. That's just my my thought process. But
yeah, I think as long as I mean, because it has that bad tag on it, right? Because it's associated with meme coins, and meme coins, you have a lot of bad actors in the space, right? So I mean, I think that's where part of the problem lies with Solana. But I mean, the scalability, and the it's super cheap, to transfer anything on. So I mean, it's definitely got its pros and cons, just like any other blockchain. But I like I said, I like Solana.
yeah, most definitely. So let's pull this up, wide screen this, because I like for you guys to see as much of this information as possible, so you guys can kind of absorb what I kind of see or envision possibly happening for the chart. So we had a pump on Bitcoin. So you can see right here, we had this. Let me zoom it in a little bit so we can see just this segment. So we had a significant drop in the market. So when we had this pullback, bam, slammed and hit right here on this support level, and we maintained, you know what I mean? So it wasn't bad at all, period. So it's a situation to where most of the volume is coming from Bitcoin. So if you guys pay attention to the smart money in the market for the entire market cap of crypto, the smart money is slowly increasing. They actually just saw, I don't know if you guys saw that, but a little pullback in the smart money, just a little bit. It dropped down just a little bit right there while we were watching, but it's starting to increase, and you can kind of see it almost like phone bars. It's up a little bit each time, right? So you go to Bitcoin and really similar layout, because this is the top front runner right here, and this is where a majority of our volume is coming from, people buying and selling Bitcoin. So smart money is paying attention to this one, and this is the main thing that they're buying right this second. So smart money is increasing in Bitcoin, which could cause the market to move, because that's a catalyst for our top runner to move, for the market to move. So I think that that's bullish. You know what I mean? To see Bitcoin react in this manner. And even when ETH was falling under 1900, 1800, or whatever the price was at that time period, Bitcoin still, after this large transition down, held this support level, went underneath this support level, retested, went back up to regain this support level, closed above this, then went above, came back down to retest it, then went back up. So that is all bullish right there. Like, you can't get any more bullish than that. You know what I mean? So the only thing that I feel like can take this away from Bitcoin, as far as transitioning, or at the very least consolidating in between this 80,000 to 90,000 range, because I think that it's just going to go up and break above that level. No, we're already getting resistance right here. You see price action wicked up. We're probably going to wick up right here. And then once we transition to the next week, we may transition to try to go up, or we may have a down. But I feel like we consolidate in between this range for at least a little bit, unless the smart money in the market decides to push the volume a little bit, and we push above this 90K range. So we push above this 90K range, you guys already know what I always say: we have to at the very least retest or have enough volume to push back past the next resistance area, which in this case would be like 94K. So we break 90K, our next step is we either need to retest and use 90K as a support and transition above, or completely push past 90K and be able to push past 94K and use that range as a support. But 94K is going to be the bigger resistance if we do push past 90K. So that's going to be our real pushback zone. So it just all depends on how things are going. But right now, just as a whole, Bitcoin does look a bit bullish. Like I said, neutral candle indicating that it wants to turn. But like I say, most times my biggest issue is just the amount of smart money that's in the market to push these ranges. So on a day chart, we're not seeing a whole lot of smart money introduced into the market, even with this pump that we've had. That's what kind of tells me that we're possibly, even with this volume push, going to have a consolidation before we actually have the next push up in the market. So that's just my personal opinion on that. But I think before I dive into the other cryptocurrencies, one of the more bullish ones right this second, which you actually see some smart money coming into. Remember, I told you guys last time, this is kind of what you see before a lot of money from the smart money side of town comes into the project. So I previously showed you guys a setup to where you see these bullish sections, you have your downtrend, you see the smart money leave out of the market, you may see another pump, and you see consolidation, smart money leave, and then bam, right? So you have these little segments. So bam, you see smart money popping back into the market, but this wasn't the time yet. It did not continue, and there was too much at first. You know what I mean? Like, remember I told you about those parabolic movements. You normally have pullbacks. Bam, big parabolic movement, pull back to support level, and then it's pretty much like we're back to this consolidation that was at, besides that that large spike that we had. Now, bam, we're getting to where we having small spurts of smart money buying in. So people probably already heard about the case around this range, you know what I mean, that it was going to be dismissed or whatever. And then bam, we're seeing more smart money, and then bam, it's starting to be a little bit more smart money. So we might see an uptick on XRP, actually kind of breaking the market trend right this second. But we actually have an article set up and ready for that. So let's go ahead and kick into that. What we got? Grind time. What?
Yeah, I love looking at that chart, man, and it's so consistent and it helps so much. But XRP today, we had XRP zooms 10% as the SEC is dropping the case against Ripple. So, I mean, that's huge. Can you hear me?
Yep, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. I wasn't sure if I lost
Yeah,
you.
you know, you got to verify with this setup. It's been going wacky.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But XRP again jumped. The morning hours, the legal battle, the battle is finally that's been ongoing since 2020. So they just ended and dropped the case. So for XRP holders, this is super bullish, and this is what they've been waiting for quite some time.
Yeah, so especially when they were Jerome Powell said they were going to reopen the case. So that after that bullish upswing that we had in XRP, that was like a little bit of a downer and stopped some of the volume that I feel like could have possibly came in and really pushed XRP probably above $3. You know what I mean? It could have got $4 or $5 from the momentum that they had, but that them trying to reopen the case was definitely a kind of a down situation to where they kind of had to fight through the legality of the situation, and it seems like they came on top being the winners. So that's bullish, especially if they can pull it off to where we start seeing some states getting some XRP reserves just because of the usefulness of the token and what they bring to the table. This token can really see some some good movement here. You know what I mean? Like $5 is only a 2x in price for right now. So
Yeah, and then with the lawsuit ending, it says right here increases the chances of an XRP ETF, maybe streamlining down the road.
yep.
So a lot of big news.
You
A
get
lot.
possibility of ETFs, you get possibility of reserves in multiple
Mm-hmm.
places. I think honestly, all it takes is for the government to publicly announce that they have interest in XRP. You saw what happened when Bitcoin reserve got made through the US government. Bam. Now everybody has the need to adopt and purchase it. Now, hypothetically, if along with that Bitcoin reserve, because I feel like they have to, for full adoption to kind of take place, it can't just be an adoption of Bitcoin. I feel like there has to be adoption of other cryptocurrencies for the entire space to get the respect that is needed. I feel like if not, then everybody just respects Bitcoin, right? Is that not how it will work out? Or am I
No,
overthinking that one?
no, that's it. You're right. And then XRP was among the few that were Trump wanted to add to the U.S. crypto reserve. So I mean, I know there was a handful, 5 or 6 of them, if not more. But I remember XRP was one of them. So
Yeah. And do you understand how bullish that will be for the XRP community? Like
absolutely, absolutely.
all of the reserves that can possibly be created. And I think that it wouldn't just be US reserves, because I think that the last thing that other countries want is to be behind the US in any endeavor, which is why they're fighting so hard for the AI market and all these other things that we kind of have going on at this point. You know what I mean? So that's why the struggle is like that. I don't know if anybody agrees. If you guys feel different, go ahead and drop it into the comments. And also, if you guys can retweet, drop a like, man, tell a friend that we're in the building, man. We'll be here for a little bit longer, man, rocking out with you guys, man, trying to keep you guys informed on the market. Hopefully, show you guys some options to kind of trading or maybe some indicators you guys can use. So if you guys like the content, definitely drop a comment, let us know how we're doing, or just retweet, like if you're one of the silent people. I like the quiet people sometimes too. But just as a whole, XRP looks bullish right now. It really does. And even on a day time frame, let's go to the week time frame. So on a week time frame, we have been really trying to hold this $2 mark. It looks like, well, $2.10 is really where the support level is. And XRP has been trying to maintain it. Definitely got a lot of resistance around this range. So we'll mark her up. This is our main resistance level right here. As you can see, we went above with this wick right here, instantly pulled back there behind this resistance level. Then you see we tried to close and hold it, but we went up, had too much selling pressure around this range, closed to actually almost hold the support. And then you guys kind of see what happened from there. So we went up and then we sold off, came directly underneath that, broke straight past that. There's only so many times that you're going to get rejected in the area and then stay around that range. Eventually you're going to pull back if you keep getting rejected. So same thing to go with that is, so we've seen the pullbacks, right? So right here, wick up, pullback, right here, pull back, right here, pull back, and another pullback right here, right? So we're going up one more time, but we're already getting resistance from the price action right here, starting to wake up again right here. So that's why I was saying that we may open another weak candle, trying to transition towards the upside. But if we go up to this resistance level to where we've already been rejected multiple times with weak volume, I'm pretty sure you guys can already assume what could happen from that. So we do need the volume to be there, so it can't just be because the algorithm tells it has to break through. Like, there's not going to be a big ass green candle without the money behind it. So need the money to flow in for this to really kick into speed. But from the MACD standpoint, we don't have a whole lot of selling pressure, but we do have some selling pressure, and the MACD is trying its best to flip towards the upside. It looks like more smart money is gradually coming into XRP. So that's something that you can definitely call bullish. But at the very least, I can see XRP possibly going into a pump if the market continues at the rate that it's been continuing at. So we can definitely see some upside for XRP. So what else we dive into? We already looked at Bitcoin and the ranges that we're kind of at from that, smart money increasing. Let's look at ETH and see what ETH has going on. So ETH has been on what feels like a never-ending downtrend since it hit about $4,000, which is kind of nowhere near where our all-time high was for ETH, which is a little bit disappointing, as a lot of people thought that as Bitcoin hit an all-time high, ETH would hit that all-time high, which would have been beautiful. It would have been generational wealth spread around, but we did not get that pump. What we did get is a hell of a downtrend, and right now an attempt, let me blow it up so you guys kind of see, and an attempt to hold this support level. With this attempt to hold the support level on ETH, as I stated beforehand, we got a neutral candle right here that kind of explains things and just how things are going. Hold on. Give me 2.5 seconds. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat. If any DeFi tokens you want us to look at after this segment, we can dive into those as well. So trying to make it an interactive stream as much as possible.
Whew. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes when you got to be half crypto trader, half dad, when you hear loud thuds, you got to kind of take off running in that direction. Just hope for the best. All right. But Yan, the funny business was like, all right, so neutral candle right here. The only difference between this neutral candle right here is that we do not have the MACD kind of having interest in going up to trying to cross. We also don't have any smart money in the market right now. It's just retail right this second. Yeah, y'all, that was a jog. I'm almost out of breath a little bit. Yeah, but no smart money in the market right this second on the week time frame. Still headed down if you're paying attention to the direction, but we got a nice bounce because this is a support level. That's kind of where we're at with ETH right this second. We got a nice bounce because this is a good support level right this second, like a strong support level that should get held. But without volume to push this thing up, it's going to continue to come down, I feel like. So if we continue on the path that we are continuing right now, yes, you have whales accumulating, but not enough of them to push this price action up. So we're going to keep having retail feeling like this is the bottom, following influencers that are saying, hey, we're back, baby, and all that good stuff. And they're going to keep purchasing because that's what we got the majority of right here is just retail money trying to hold the market up. Not a whole lot of smart money and some strategic whales putting in DCA buys at different locations. So because once this hits a bottom, it's going to do like almost every other bottom. once things kind of bottom out, you get like candles like this towards the upside. There's already buy orders in there. You don't really have too many opportunities to buy the bottom. So the strategic thing for most whales to do that are buying large amounts is to strategically buy as this thing goes down and kind of DCA. So that's what we're kind of seeing here. That's why I feel like we have a pop of volume. So this is no longer kind of following the trend of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is still in a bullish state and still has smart money in the market right this second. And right this second, we're still continuously losing money right now from Ethereum as far as smart money. So those are the variations between the two. And we're just not looking too bullish right now. Now, could a catalyst come out for ETH to change the projected thought process of this? It could happen, but is it happening right now? No, but it did pump above 2K, which is pretty bullish. This wick shows that it wants to not go down anymore, but this wick kind of showed the same thing, and look where we are right now. So just things to kind of think and ponder over, you know what I mean, where we're going to move with this one. But as a whole, what we're looking at is that we may continue down. We may try to hold this level for this point, but if we don't have enough volume to at least consolidate around this range, and we still keep having selling pressure the way we have for ETH, we're going to see a $1,200 to $1,000 Ethereum. That's kind of the makeup of what we're seeing right now, which I would rather that not be the bottom, because that's pretty much a 50% price difference from where we're at currently right now. But I mean, there's no way of stopping or combating it unless we have more volume to push this thing towards the upside or some type of catalyst. So I'm pretty sure that the Ethereum team is fully aware of that. And we'll see what kind of pans out from there. But let me know what you guys are feeling about ETH. I know ETH is a sensitive subject for most people because, like I said, it didn't hit that all-time high, didn't get the volume that everybody wanted to come into the market. So it's just there right now. It's useful to buy NFTs though. So if you're still buying NFTs, it still does work to buy those. But other than that, there's not too many projects launching with demand. Sui had a nice pullback. If you're looking at it on a month chart, just for this month, pulled all the way back to, what was this, about 198, I'll say, about 198. So not bad. Let's go week chart. Week chart on Sui, which actually had just some bullish catalysts going for them, and the fact that they got the gaming thing going. It's pretty intriguing. And I think more people will start to come into that ecosystem as more people have gotten adapted to transferring between blockchains now. Whereas last bull run, you saw people, if they were ETH maxi, they stayed on ETH. If they're BNB, they stay on BNB, and so on and so on. Where not too many people transferring between blockchains. They were too scared. They didn't want to lose money. They didn't understand the different things to utilize to trade on. They didn't trust it. So most people stayed where they were used to things at, you know what I mean? So
yeah, nobody likes change, right?
Yeah, this time around, yeah.
I think though there's a lot more avenues for people to do so as well. I think that kind of helps it out as well.
Yeah.
To where they can move from blockchain to blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah, people are making it a little easier as far as like you see so many different projects launching bridges and swaps and stuff like that. So yeah, there is a lot of help to get to the blockchains, because a lot of people to get to BNB beforehand, most people, you had to just utilize crypto.com. Like there aren't too many places that you could have just bought BNB. I mean, yeah, there's MoonPay, but most people didn't want to use their credit card for fear of tax purposes or whatever else. So yeah, all these different anonymous ways to be able to transfer and bridge over cryptocurrency are helping people go to different blockchains also. But I think it's just a volume transfer. Like literally one day is Solana, the next day is Base, the next day is BNB or Sui. So the volume keeps moving. So you have a choice to move with the volume or miss the volume. So people are going to make rash decisions with that one, I feel like. So they're going to withdraw from one blockchain and go to the next blockchain, or if you have enough money to spread around, you'll just be prepared on multiple blockchains this year. That's how I'm kind of feeling things pan out and go. Is that how you think it'll work out also?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what news is coming out, right? Everybody don't want to miss out on that FOMO, but there's certain blockchains that do certain things. Like Sol's known for the meme coins and the low gas fees, right? ETH's known for NFTs, even though Sol has, NFTs and they offer that on that side. Um, I just personally, in my opinion, think ETH is better on the NFT aspects. So it's just what you're trying to do, right? If you trade meme coins, you're going to go to Sol. Even Sui has some, decent meme coins on that end. We saw the base chain, right? ETH base chain. They had some decent meme coins, and they were trending for quite a while there. So just got to go with the flow.
Most definitely. So in order to do that, you got to be able to adapt. If you can't adapt this bull run, you're going to miss a lot of money, because sometimes that money is not going to be on Ethereum. It's going to be on Solana, or sometimes the money may be on Sui for a little bit, especially once they get to releasing some of these different gaming aspects of their blockchain. That's going to be intriguing for me, especially if there are ways to earn and the graphics are there and they find ways to scale it to where there's ways to make money if you put the time and effort into it, which also makes them and builds them revenue towards their brand, which will make this build out into something so much bigger. I think that's what a lot of the gaming kind of either blockchains or tokens kind of messed up at. Like they did not scale properly, which caused people to sell off and lose interest and a lot of other things, even with like some of the metaverses and stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember NFT Worlds, but once it lost I think it lost ties to, what was it, Minecraft? I can't remember what game it was because it was so long ago. Once they lost that collaboration with them, that project tanked. Like, they were literally selling those worlds for anywhere from like 2 to like 10 ETH. And though when I say the value of those things tanked, it came down hard. And it was due to not scaling properly, pretty much. And I wouldn't say the graphics weren't there, because back then, like, metaverses were metaverses. You know what I mean? It wasn't really specifically about graphics. It was about getting people to adopt and actually utilize it. So I don't know.
Yeah, and we see, what is it, Nifty Island? You know, that's a decent metaverse, or what they're trying to build over there by
Yeah, I've heard about
adapting.
that one. I haven't been there. Have you been
Uh,
in it? Have you
no,
actually?
no, I haven't yet, and I want to get my beast in there, and I have a couple other NFTs that that could collaborate in there. But I haven't played in there yet. I got to set it up. I just haven't had the time. But from what I gather, you could build your own area. I mean, it's pretty neat from what I heard, and it looks nice.
Yeah, well, anything that's got good graphics, I, for the life of me, have been waiting on somebody to adopt the thing that is not broken, to create a viral game with good graphics to where you can earn throughout playing the game and utilizing the game, which actually builds revenue for the project. And they build out some type of revenue model or subscription model to where, like Fortnite, you know what I mean? You pay for the battle pass and then you get more things on top of the free things that they were already going to give you. So even if you didn't want to pay for the battle pass, you can still pay the game and get different things, which makes you play the game more to get more stuff. But eventually you get to a point to where you want that other cool stuff that you're seeing other people have. So more people buy the subscriptions and pay for the a la carte different things that you guys are selling in your model. I want somebody to come out with that. It can be a first person shooting game or whatever model of game that they want to do. It seems like the first person shooting would probably be the most like adaptable, because we got Call of Duty, you got Fortnite and different things. So in those, like, if they came out with a Fortnite 2, I think it would go viral and they would make more money, you know what I mean? Just because people already like the brand of Fortnite, just how Call of Duty can come out with thousands of games. But I think Fortnite found a model to where they don't have to come out with an additional game or additional concept. They're just adding more things that you can do inside of Fortnite and the different game modes that you can do. If somebody comes out with an adaptive model similar to that, they're going to take over the gaming space, I feel like, because everybody's going to play it. And instead of earning like just the in-game token, if you earned like the gaming token, the gaming token from the blockchain, and you have an option to pay moderate amounts of those tokens to buy upgrades and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that boosts the chart, you know what I mean? It goes to a burn or something, you know what I mean? Like, that will be the dopest thing ever, I feel like. I don't know how you feel about that, but I would sit and play that and earn money.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I haven't like understood, that everybody wanted. We had that play to earn game, like that segment where everybody was all about building play to earn games. What, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I haven't seen anything to where like I wanted to dive deep into it and actually sit there and play it all day, like you said, like a Fortnite, to where
Yeah.
you could earn while you're playing and then spend it within the game itself. I think that would be like really take on the gaming aspect.
Yeah. I think if you're going to create a game, you got one of two options. Either make it super simple and straight to the point to where anybody can adopt and utilize it so you can get mass adoption and allow people to earn, or create something to where the graphics are there and all the components are there and that you're able to actually scale to where it's not only fun, but it benefits the entire project. That I think those are the only two options at this point. Like in the meantime's game, simple, clean, straight to the point. If you want to earn, all you got to do is tap. It literally costs you nothing but time, but you're able to earn currency for utilizing that time in the right ways. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. But just to wrap up, looking at these charts there, I think SUI looks bullish, but the entire market on the long term looks like it wants to pull back. But if you go to the daytime frame, it is currently it was in a downtrend for a bit. So it's in a downtrend. It's currently trying to break out of that downtrend. And I'll actually give you guys a perspective of that. Please don't judge me by this line. This is just to give you guys an idea of how they have tried to break the downtrend. Red for downtrend. This is a thick ass line. Oh, that's too damn thin. Bam. All right. So I didn't want to give you guys the entire bacon strip line so you guys couldn't see the candles, but this isn't an exact. But if I had to measure like the downtrend that was going on, bam, this was our downtrend line. Bam, this is kind of where we broke over this downtrend line, came back, used it as a support, bounced. Now it's trying to go up and secure this as a support level rather than a resistance, because that's what it would have been considered if it would have came down, get rejected all these times, and it continued to push down this way. It still would have been a resistance level. Right now, came over, broke, and trying to break above. So if it can come down, retest, and use this as a support, it may either consolidate for a little bit, going up and down in this range, or use this as a support for a little bit and try to send towards the upside if we get more volume in the market. So he definitely one that I'm going to be watching. There's a few others that I'm going to be watching. Soul, of course, is one of them. We can see that Soul is bouncing right where we got a support line. So all these lines were put previously. So it once again came into a downtrend. So let's throw a second right here to give you visual purposes of it. Like I said, not a perfect goddamn line. It's off a little bit, but I'm not going to sit and try to make it perfect while on stream. But this was our downtrend that we were following right here. Bam, tried to break it here, could not do it, pull back underneath this downtrend line, then continued to get rejected and pushed down. Got a little bit of momentum once we dropped here, went back up, popped up and above. And this is kind of what we want to see for SUI pretty much, as it went up and above and, you know what I mean, tried to stay up, came back down for the retest, was getting rejected for a little bit, bam, popped back over. Now this once again needs to retest and use it as a support, because we really haven't used it as a support. If you look at it, went up and above, came back down and below, and as it came below, it got rejected for a little bit, and then now we're above it again. So we really haven't utilized this as a support level just yet. So definitely still need to kind of consolidate around this range to kind of like cement this in as a support. But other than that, it's still not looking too bad right now. So I can't be mad at that at all, period. So definitely some good movement.
Yeah, and they like I said, they have some decent meme coins as well on the Sweet chain. So But I just wanted to bring this up, a little bit of a plug, I guess. But um, this was something Raspy tweeted out a while back since we were talking about gaming. I'm kind of excited for this. I'm looking forward to see how this turns out. To be honest, this is just a preview of the B side. So
He's floating what looks to be a jetpack and a sniper.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm intrigued at the very least.
yeah,
He's like he stopped into a slow hover to get his aim on. Did you see that?
yeah,
Like,
man.
it's, so that's what I mean by like you see how the graphics are not like super choppy. Like this advertisement of it while they're using the beasts actually in it, that looks solid. You know what I mean? Like this is
Mhm.
intriguing. It looks like it might be a good game. Now, when the game comes out is when you really see it, because that's when the pressure gets put on the system, because all of the utilization of the people going on there, which I'm sure they're going to beta test and do all of that good stuff to make sure that their system can take it. But that's when you see, because sometimes people underestimate the amount of people who will come on, and then sometimes you get those DDoS attacks and stuff like that. So definitely want to see how it comes out and if it's crispy or not, man, because I definitely can see myself grabbing a couple beats for that sole purpose.
Yeah, and when you do, if anybody is in the market or they do grab them, you could see it's going to be more to that because
My God, what is it? Oh my God, I
uh,
had the screen left from Baby Fat's. I don't even want to call this shit a rug pull. It still has liquidity, damn it. But I don't know. This is just a hard way to come onto a damn chart. Let's get something on here that doesn't make me feel away. Let's had a little pullback on in the meantime. So I see we came back to 841,000. And this is so slept on. I actually put in the description that we have a Twitter space coming up with the In the Meantime team. So if you guys want to tap in and learn more about this In the Meantime token, you guys are more than welcome to. Let me get back on the screen. So you guys are more than welcome to tap in and kind of look at the progress that they're trying to make. There are some big things coming for this token, and I think a lot of people are asleep on the fact that there's some big things coming for this token. I don't think that this is just your regular meme token that's launching. They came out too damn prepared. They're too damn organized. They have a lot of structure within the team, and they have big goals that they're trying to reach. So in order to facilitate those big goals, they need to do big things. So man, it's just a situation to where you see a token like this, you're super bullish, you understand how sleep people are on it, but once they wake up, I understand the amount of volume that'll probably get thrown in this direction. So I'm super bullish on this token. The ecosystem currently is pretty much built out with their tap game already out, so people can already start earning. You got the TikTok swap to where you can swap crypto anonymously with low fees. Low fees are everything to me. Speed is everything to me. So I can get low speed, low fees and speed in one spot. That's where you need to be at, you know what I mean? And then to remain anonymous and not have people all in your business is amazing also. So you definitely want to check those things out. And then the mining, which I feel like is my personal favorite, because that is what essentially causes the supply shock, because even when other people are not buying, they have mechanisms in place and revenue sources in place to where they're funneling cash to where they're making buyback buybacks on the chart, you know what I mean, which is buybacks and burns, and part allocations go to the game for tokens for people to actually earn. But the supply shock that can be caused by the buyback and burns are going to be crazy with utilizing the money from that mining.
Now, how much did you say they had set aside?
So they set aside 100K just to
Yeah,
initially go into the mining. So j- most projects don't have 10K to put towards any of their utilities at all, period, or anything that they're trying to build out or even finish the things that they will have to do. And most of them are trying to build up revenue through the taxes, through other means, or having to sell a little bit of supply. They're already prepared. The funding was sent beforehand, and they're utilizing that for mining to create revenue. They have specs. I don't know if they're going to be releasing the specs during the Twitter space, but I think that would be super bullish to kind of give us an idea of how the mining is going just from the initial amount that they put in. From if we're already putting the full 100K in, like this, like there's $100,000 that's being utilized for mining to create more revenue, to where revenue is going to be poured into the chart, and more people are going to start to recognize that and recognize all the other things that are being built, the networking, the partnerships that are coming in the near future and such like that. Like, this is literally almost the entire build out to what everybody was looking for in the last bull run. A project with a solid team that has a legitimate goal and dream to actually reach, benchmarks that they're actually checking off and getting out the way. Like, they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, but it's going to take people to get out of that degen, damn, I'm waiting for this next 100x, when you're staring at one. See, this is probably past 100x, to be honest, potential. And people don't understand they're getting early in situations like this. Now, when I start making clips of this video, like months down the line, and the price is way higher, and I keep pointing, because I'm gonna keep pointing, because I feel like I got to make fun of you guys at that point, because when you start giving people bullish information, they fade it, and it goes really, really well. If you don't talk shit, I feel like it's taboo. Like, there's just something wrong with that. So you got to talk a little bit of shit during that process. So I will be pointing like, hey guys, do you guys remember? Put a fucking arrow right here. Do you guys remember when we were right here? And zoom the chart all the way in so you guys can see where we were speaking about it, and where you had opportunities to gain entry to what is essentially a hidden gem. I feel like I don't know, man. I'm super bullish on this project, and it's not because I do content for it. It's because of the substance, the sentiments, and everything else surrounding it. The community that's behind it, the more and more people that are starting to adapt and understand that they're building something that's going to be around for a while. So definitely bullish on this one. If you guys are not, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but definitely look into it. Tune into the Twitter space first. I feel like you can even come up and ask some questions. The team will be inside of there. Come ask questions to us or the team, whatever you want to do. See our perspectives or opinions, or have your own opinion and kind of tell us how you guys feel about the project or what's going on as far as in this camp. So definitely show up to that Twitter space. And then from there, do your own research, man. Dive into like white papers, the website, and just different things, and see if you're comfortable with this investment, because there's only going to be so many projects I feel like that you get entries like this on, just due to the state of the market. And when they launched in a meme crazy time of the market. So when people didn't see like that super parabolic pump, because that wasn't their nature to pump it parabolically and then have a tremendous downtrend and then to consolidate and then have that really shitty looking chart. They are moving up and down minimally, you know what I mean, and gaining momentum at different times, and it's, I feel like, beneficial times in the market. I don't know, what's your perspective on in the meantime? It looks like you got a interesting yet fresh perspective in the meantime, Brian.
I caught it a little bit. Oh, when did I get into it? Uh, Maybe a couple of weeks after it came out, and I think I caught it on that second green candle up, and then I just I dived into the Telegram. I think they had a if it wasn't an X space, it was something maybe in the Telegram, and I just listened in, and I liked everything that I heard, especially that TikTok swap. Again, that's on Telegram. It's not on TikTok per se. I know some people get that confused, um, but that swap is great. I played part of that the demo for the tap game, and I think I made it into the top five, and then they were doing some kind of updates, and like I said, it was only a beta, so I lost all my progress. But the tap game's on point now. They hashed everything out, and I think the number one person's like crushing it. So if you put in the work, you could really get something out of that. And like I said, it's just got so many so many options for you to earn. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Is
Yeah.
to earn. So they're offering you multiple ways for you to earn.
Hey, Grant, I don't know if anybody else paid attention to this, because it is like seamlessly kind of just put into the website. But do you mind reading what's on the screen right there?
Dev is LC X Shib Dev. If you know, you know.
What do you gather from that? Because is this your first time seeing this?
Actually, yes. And I'm on the website a couple times a week. I must have
So
missed this one.
love it. So with this being your first time seeing that, just initially, what are your feelings towards this information?
Well, from the information that I found, doing my own research, is that if I recall, the previous dev or the dev of this has brought other projects to 1 billion market caps. If I read that, the information that I gathered correctly. So, with that being said, I could see this doing the exact same thing. And what I'm reading here is that it's an ex dev from Shiba Inu.
Yeah, and also have incorporation from another project, Shinja, that went above a $1 billion market cap also. So multiple projects that have reached over a $1 billion market cap. I'm starting to see a pattern. What about you?
I think so too. And we're sitting right underneath 1 million, right? So it's no, not financial advice, but it's got major room to grow if we're going to get to that billion and above. So I know last stream we were right at a million. We were sitting at a million. Now this stream it retraced a little bit and we're back below a million. What 84.1? So I don't know about you, but I like what I'm seeing and I'm buying.
Yeah. And a lot of people are paying attention specifically to just the price action on the chart, but not paying attention to what's getting built all around them and the value that's all around them and the people that will be coming to the value that's all around them. There's only so long that people can ignore value and the possibility of money. So I just want to throw that out there. And then like I said, multiple $1 billion projects. Like I said, there's a pattern there. There's a solid team there. There's people that know what to do and how to do it behind it. And you got a point in the market to where the market's just finicky right now. People don't really know where to put money. A lot of people have PTSD about choosing conviction plays and just plays that are long term versus those plays that may pump 100x or a 50x or a 10x. You know what I mean? Like, and it may not. You got two options: either it's going to rug or it's going to 50x. You know what I mean? Like, so people are willing to take that risk rather than to take the risk of setting some money somewhere that is a long-term play that has a lot of potential. And that's just due to the previous market. And like I said, so many people have been through so many things with tokens and believed in so many different people that it didn't end up panning out. And they get to a point to where they're just like, okay, I don't know if I have it in me to put more money into something, wait to see something pan out or not. But it's the risk of the market that actually makes you the money, to be honest. So,
Well, what did your thumbnail say? Risk reward, right?
yep.
So you want to take the risk, you're gonna get the best reward out of it. But if they clock in to your stream and they get the information, it's right here. They could see. And if we're talking, maybe 6 months down the road, they got the information here today. It might be beneficial to them.
No,
But
if it only takes, let's just do some simple math for people to kind of break it down for them. If it only takes 6 months for this to get to $1 billion market cap, if you own, I think at the very least, 1 million to 1.5 million tokens, I got to do the calculations depending on market cap, but I think that's about $1 million at $1 billion market cap. So if you're able to gross that in 6 months, most people don't have a chance of making that in their life. Most people won't make $1 million, period. Like maybe over time, if they live to be like 80, 90 from minimum wage jobs, adding it all together, including overtime, side jobs and hustles, times that you did babysitting jobs, or maybe you did a little hair, and you can add all of that in together.
yeah, 401ks aren't really doing things much anyway these days, right? So
right. So
but
that,
yeah,
yeah.
everybody wants that immediate gratification. They want that immediate pump and get in, get out. But at the end of the day, when you're building something with their building, it's going to take time.
Yeah. And I think that's where people are at right now. Not a whole lot of announcements coming out, but that usually means building. So when the announcements start to come out, it's at that point you're buying tops, you know what I mean, and pullbacks, you know what I mean. Like you're buying the top because you're getting FOMO. You're going to see green candles that break above where we were. We go over that $5 million point. Now you're interested and want to buy, which you're going to get less of the supply. You make less money during that way. It's all about the risk to reward ratio, I feel like. And if you're not taking risks, sometimes you don't get that reward, especially in this space. And if you're not willing to take risks, 9 times out of 10, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go to just kind of hang out with Bitcoin, XRP, maybe some SUI, BNBs. Not bad. You know what I mean? Like, this may not be your cup of tea. But,
man. Well, that's it. That's where you keep your money, and then over here is your play money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta take the risks. But with that being said, too, while they're out there building, I know some people get discouraged and they start, selling off their positions because they don't see the devs in the Telegram or the devs talking or doing spaces or doing that. So, I mean, you see that all the time too.
100%.
So if you believe in it, I know just because I don't see them talking, I'm still gonna DCA when I can and get the best position I can. So when it's my time,
Yeah, because like I said, I can't wait for the price action to move, but my main interest is them like solidifying this ecosystem that they're building and the value that they're putting into the project. Because once it's set and its mining is set to where, you know what I mean, it's on a schedule to where, all right, it's profit day. All right, let's put some strategic buys in randomly, you know what I mean? Not announcing them, but just strategic buys to take some of this supply out of circulation. And once that starts happening, the supply shock kicks in, people understand that this is going to continue happening, the value that's actually behind that. And like I said, some of the networking, marketing, and partnerships that can possibly be in the near future. Like I think that this goes really well. There are so many tokens with less that have done well. This one's going to have a plethora of different ways to make money and to network and to earn and to build. So I'm just curious to how far this one goes. It's not if this one goes. I'm just curious to see how far this one goes and what will be the peak for this. So yeah, man, that's just wrapping it up, and we have reached over that hour mark, which we've smooth done. It was just a lot of information today, man, to go over between XRP and just a lot of other things, and the market's looking good as a just as a whole. Things are moving, but time will tell us tomorrow. If we wake up and things are red tomorrow, it's gonna be interesting moving forward. I think that we begin to pull back, but if we kind of maintain, consolidate, and or push up, I think that we have at least like an interesting like 7 to 10 days coming in the near future as far as a push towards the upside. Then we'll probably see some consolidation or pullback, but I don't know, man, but we will be wrapping this one up. Hopefully everybody enjoyed, man. I would love to see some more people commenting and kind of getting into what we're doing and kind of putting your perspective of how you feel about the market, or maybe even calling out some charts, you know what I mean, that we can look into. We definitely love looking at and trying to find new gems. Not saying we're going to pull all of them up, but vast majority we'll try to pull up, especially if it's slow like this, chat's not moving. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out and see what's going on. But Brian, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you follow Cuff. Put on those notifications. You want to follow me as well. But tap in when you can, and make sure you tune in for the in the meantime space.
Yeah, definitely. And scratch that last part that Grind said. There is no if you want to follow me. Go follow Grind Time. Where's my the hell are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, like go ahead and follow Grind Time. Definitely hit that follow button, man. You guys got to get into it with him. Got some good perspectives on the market, man. Killing it with articles and just getting into content creation. Definitely doing a great job, man. So follow him, show him some love, do all that good jazz, man. We're gonna start putting the Twitter links in the actual description so you guys can get to them a little bit easier. So when we say follow him, I expect some people to start clicking and smashing that follow button. But other than that, man, we've had a great stream. I appreciate you guys, man. Had almost about 50 people for the duration of the stream. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. We're out here.